Hey guys, it's your girl Kayla B. You know me, I'm coming at you with another video. Yes, another video. Brows and eyeshadow are done. Going to go in with my Fenty Beauty primer, even though this is a review of the concealer, but I'm going to talk about the price, the net weight, and all that extra goodness. But let's put it on my face. Now that that's done, I'm going to go in with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation in the shade 480. Why did I have to look? I don't know. This is my shade. The concealer that I got is 480. It's supposed to match with the foundation. It's not supposed to be the same color, but it's supposed to be the perfect brightening shade. I never did this brightening stuff because I usually like a shade close to my skin tone or one shade lighter than it, but not like a whole like 3 or 2 shades like everybody else. So I'm going to put this on my face and then we're going to go into the concealer. This is a review of the concealer, not a first impressions. I did film a first impressions, but that was really long and really gone out because I wanted to do a whole full face of Fenty first impressions. But yeah, no. Anyways, this right here is the packaging. So basically, I already tried this out. Again, it's in the shade of 480. I really like the consistency. Dang. The website says that it's supposed to be a matte finish, but to me it's more like a luminous matte. It's like matte but not matte, so I feel like I guess that would be satin matte. Trying to get it out of the packaging. This is what it looks like, a white cap with like the whole octagon vibe that she has, the whole alien thing. It says Fenty Beauty. It says the months. It's a 12 months, so after opening it's good for 12 months. It's 0.27 fluid ounces. I'm going to show you different concealers and the shades that I basically use every single day, and I'm going to say how much it is and how much product you have, because this retails for $26 and my other stuff are like cheaper. So the concealer's on my face. This is what the wand looks like. This whole thing was just one dip in. I had to take the wand back out to show you the wand, but this is one dip in. And I'm going to blend out one side with a sponge and one side with a brush. So I got my e.l.f. sponge right here, and I'm just going to blend it out with a sponge. Usually I don't blend out with a sponge. I just blend out with a brush. But it's blending out really good. This is supposed to be like I said, it was supposed to be a matte finish. It's more like a side finish. It's supposed to be a full coverage, a medium to buildable to full. I build up like another layer, but I still don't see a full. I think 3 layers would do the trick, but to me, I just feel like it's medium buildable, not full. Now that that's done, I'm going to take my Morphe M536 brush, and we're just going to blend out this side. It dries down really quick. Like, you know how some concealers have those leeways so you can like wait and then blend it out for that maximum coverage? Yeah, no, it dries down really quick. Really quick. Buff that out. I'm doing tapping motions under the eyes because under the eyes are very delicate. Wow. With a brush, you definitely get more coverage than with a sponge. Yes, sponges take up some product when it's damp, and that sponge was damp. So I understand why this has more coverage and this has more luminosity. But dang, that's more coverage. And I usually use it with a brush anyways. So I feel like this is really brightening up my eyes. It really goes well with the foundation. But I feel like it's a little bit too light for me. I've never been this much of a bright under eye person. So I'm going to just show you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 concealers on my hand. So the first one right here, the more, I would say this is more golden undertone, but is coming off a little bit reddish. This is supposed to be a warm undertone. This is the Fenty one right here. Then the next one is my e.l.f. concealer, the stick concealer. And the next two are ColourPop. One is 58 and one is 56. As you can see, they're more pinky tones, but they're not as light as the Fenty one. So it's like a really unique shade to my concealers. I have the e.l.f. one for everyday, and there's the bottom one right here. This is the Jalep one for everyday, and this is for like my foundation shade. This is the Ulta Beauty one. So it's like, yeah, it's like an array of concealers. But let me talk about how much product is in each one. The Jalep concealer, which costs $30, but I usually just pay $15 for. This has 0.16 ounces, and the Fenty one has, where is it? There it is. I just said it. The Fenty one has 0.27 ounces, so it has more ounces than the Jalep one. This one net weight is 0.10 ounces. It's not the same as fluid ounces, but I feel like that still had more product than this. ColourPop, this is a Deep Dark 58. Deep Dark 58 and Deep Dark 56 probably has the same net weight. This has 0.176, 0.17, basically 0.18 ounces if you're rounding it up. So 0.18 ounces, and the Fenty one still has 0.27 fluid ounces. I should be showing you this. So that's what the ColourPop concealer, well, you can't see that. Anyways, the other one is the same thing. Yep, 0.17 ounces. Then the Ulta one is 0.1 fluid ounces. So this has majority of the product in it, and it's $26. So it is worth the price in that point. But long wearing, it's really not that long wearing in my case. It creases a lot, but it's because I have natural creases where my creases go. But it does hold for a good 5 hours of wear before it starts creasing. It just stay on all day, and it's very lenient to like blending it out before you set it with powder. Just like wet that beauty sponge, or like just put a little bit more, just blend it out. It's really good. Now let me set my face. I set my concealer with the Pretty Vulgar powder. This powder is amazing for concealers and for all over the face. But for all over the face, I'm going to go in with my Super Stay Full Coverage Foundation, powder foundation. I hit pan in this. So that's how much you know I love it. So my final thought about this concealer is that yes, it's a little too light for me. For my taste in concealer. By the way, if you saw a lighting change, I did change my lighting. I am going through natural lighting and it's getting dark outside. It's not crease proof. If you have creases in your eyes, it's going to crease. That's just it. It's not full coverage. It's close to full coverage, but it's not full coverage. It's not a matte finish. It's a matte finish after you put on a foundation, but it still has that luminosity that glows in it. So that's it for this review. Basically, you just heard my whole entire thoughts on this concealer. Basically, sort for yourself how it blends out, and also that it's not one of those concealers that you could leave on for a very long time to let it sink in. But when I did blend out, it did give me a more full coverage look, and I really highly suggest you blend it out with a brush, not a sponge, if you want that more full coverage. But layering a second one on this side did balance it out, so you can't just layer on a second layer, but you don't want to really waste product because yes, it has more than the rest of my concealers, but if you use a little goes a long way. And that saves you money. That saves you money. That saves you money. Yeah. So on my cheeks I use the e.l.f. Primer, what is this? So primer infused blush and Always Cheeky. I told you to set my under eyes. I use the Pretty Vulgar powder. That powder, yes. That's basically what I just used on my face. And now I'm gonna spray the Ulta Beauty Matte Setting Spray, and then that'll be the end of this look. So yeah. Oh, it smells like baby powder. It smells like baby powder. I actually like it. Anyways, I hope you guys like this look. I hope you guys like this review. If you want to see more reviews on my channel, some will be linked down below and some will be linked up here. And just go check out the rest of my videos. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit that like button. Have a great day, have a great night whenever you're watching this. And always stay positive, you guys. You always gotta stay positive. Anyways, bye.